our second plenary speaker, Assistant Prof. Dr. Jerome Bush. Dr. Bush is an assistant professor at the Department of English Language Teaching Department at MEF University. He has been working in the field of English language teaching since the late 1990s and has taught in the States, Turkey, and Japan. He received his Ph.D. in English language education from Yeditepe University. In addition to the Ph.D., he holds 2 master's degrees from California State University. One is in TESOL and the other is an MBA in International Business. He has worked as a teacher, teacher trainer, curriculum designer, consultant, and examiner. His research interests include discipline-specific formulaic language, in-service teacher training, flipped learning, and advanced writing methodologies. Today, he will be with us with his talk titled The Future of Flipped Learning in English Teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Bush.
Oh, thank you, Zainab. Thank you. And Ishul Hoja, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. It really is an honor to be here. I'm quite happy to be able to do this presentation today. Zainab, I think, covered all of that, but this is my LinkedIn connection. I'll be happy to connect with any of you, all of you. So that would be great. Okay, I work at MEF University. I'm not sure how familiar you are with MEF, but MEF is the first fully flipped university in the world, as far as we know. It opened in 2014. I joined it in 2017. We graduated our first group in 2018, the first group from ELT in 2019. ELT started a year later. To monitor the flipped learning, we have the CELT, the Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching, which is chaired by Caroline Fell-Kurban, who has several books out on flipped learning. We have about 3,500 students in the university, and the ELT program has about 180. So this is what I'm going to be talking about. I'll give you a quick review and then talk about flipped learning in ELT, take a look at the future of flipped learning and the future of language teacher education, which is my field where I'm working. Okay, quick review, flipped learning. This is quick because I think most of you guys know flipped learning, and Ishul Hoja already introduced it, so we'll just go over this quickly, but there's a reason that I'm doing this. In the traditional classroom, the class time is spent with knowledge transmission, and then the homework is analysis and creation. However, in the traditional classrooms, a lot of times there's this pre-class reading. The reading is expanded and explained in the lecture. And then the students are told to go home and analyze and create something. And then there's a post-class essay. So here we have the flipped learning model. This is the individual space. Students are individually at home watching videos. They also do reading. They do other pre-class activities. When they come into the class, it's active learning, doing and reflecting, and then there's the post-class activity, which is generally the creation. The creation phase happens in the individual space post-class. And what happens, if you look at this, you've got pre-class, during class, post-class. This model, pre-class, oops, there we go, pre-class, in-class, post-class. There can be confusion. The main complaint about flipped learning that we get at MEF University is that teachers aren't doing it correctly. And yeah, they love flipped learning. They want flipped learning. They're excited about flipped learning. For many students, it's the reason they came to MEF. But then the teachers don't do it well. So I wanted to make out this point that it's very important that this takes place, this active learning, right? And we've heard about that already. So the active learning is an important aspect of flipped learning. So we look at Bloom's, right? And Bloom's, I don't know why they chose a triangle, a pyramid for this. It's kind of like the knowledge is like more important, they're like bigger. You can adapt a symbol for Bloom's that is a diamond shape, where what the important part is the application and the analysis, and this is what happens in the class. So this is less stress, the remembering and the understanding. Yeah, as Meltem Hoxha told us, we got students now who have the combined knowledge of the entire world in their pocket. Teaching them knowledge, knowing stuff, they can look this stuff up. So this is flipped learning, a new way of looking at Bloom's. The knowledge transmission happens in the individual space. That's the flipping. Application and analysis in the group space, and then evaluation and creation in the individual space. This gives students more incentive to join the class because they're not just talking about what they've already read. They're doing things, they're applying what they've learned. And then it also gives the teacher a chance to check during the application whether the knowledge was understood correctly. This has been one of the criticisms of flipped learning, in that the lecture goes into the individual space. The students don't have a chance to ask questions during the lecture, but the teacher can easily see how well the students understood through the application. If they can apply it, they understood it. And then the transference, I'm a big fan of transference. I believe that what I teach, I train teachers, okay? That's what I do. And if what I'm doing doesn't help their teaching, I'm wasting their time. Everything I do should transfer into their profession. Everything in the classroom should be based on making them teachers, not developing their knowledge, but on making them teachers, skill-based learning. Okay, I think it's important to look at where flipped learning came from. 2007, and this is rural Colorado. A lot of mountains, natural areas, and these chemistry teachers, and they were high school teachers. So I think it's important to realize that flipped learning was created for high school, and then it gets applied to other areas. And they were having problems. The students were late, they had sports, they had other things. They were traveling a long distance to come to school. And sometimes the transportation was a problem, so they would constantly call their teachers, please let me know what happened in the class. And so these guys started making videos. They used screencasting. Yeah, we all know screencasting. Yes? Okay. So they were using screencasting for their lectures and letting the students watch these ones. And they said, hey, we don't need to lecture anymore. We could just do these screencast videos. And this is chemistry. So experiments in chemistry are incredibly important. And so they said, well, more time to do chemistry experiments. And so they did this, and And then they, in 2007, 2008, they did their first class, and they said, okay, the students liked it, but did it work? Did it help them learn? And they compared the final exams. It was the same final exam in 2007 and 2008. And the students in 2008 got higher scores. So they said, yeah, it seems like it's working. This idea spread rapidly. Bergman and Sams, I've met Bergman, by the way. He's a great guy. Sams kind of seems like he's kind of dropped out of the field a little bit, but Bergman is still very active. And these, they made their book in 2012. 2012 is when they released their book. And then boom, right? Flip learning. You had, by 2013, 29% of classes were already flipped, with another 27 saying that they were going to flip. So this caught on quite rapidly, especially in secondary and higher ed. Not as much happens in the K-12 environment, or there's not as much research going on in the K-12 environment. So hats off to Ishil Hoja, and the project that you're doing is brilliant, and it's necessary. We need to do that. So by 2018, the Flip Learning Network had 15,000 members. But it's not just the technology. Flip learning is not, it uses technology, but it's not just technology. It's an attitude towards information. And the attitude towards information is changing. And we have Wikipedia, we've got Google, we've got all these things. You know, if you want to find out the exchange rate of the lira and the dollar, you don't have to wait for tomorrow's newspaper. It's right there in your pocket. You have constructivism and social cultural theory, which view teachers as facilitators, right? Not really sources of knowledge. Teachers don't need to be sources of knowledge. They don't really need to transfer the knowledge. They need to use active learning. And active learning goes back all the way to Dewey, Piaget, Vygotsky. This is our rector and his quote. You can't do this with 900-year-old systems. We need more modern systems to do this. Dewey said something similar, right? You guys know Dewey was here in Turkey, right? You know this, yeah? Have you seen the pictures? Okay, I look at not just what flipped learning is, but so what happens is people just do. And you come back, you know, let me go back to this slide. Where was it? It's back here. And so this is one of the things that happen. A lot of people think that just flip. Okay. Pre-class work is not homework. I mean, it is in a way. I mean, students think it's homework, okay? we put it in the individual space, and they kind of forget about the other part of flipping, which is what you do with the group space. The group space is dynamically changed. The classroom has to be active. And it's a challenge. I mean, I have to think of activities for every class every day. However, this is not a new concept. This again goes back to Dewey, Piaget. You got Vygotsky in there. You got Paulo Freire. All these guys are talking about the same type of a thing, focusing on the students and getting the students to be active. This is the definition which you saw. I think this was in issue presentation from the Flipped Learning Network. And this, I think, is just an important aspect of this definition. Dynamic, interactive learning environment. Kill me, like, no, we're not going to do this. Oh, John, what's wrong with you? So I broke them into groups, and I said, each group will read one article. Each group reads one article. Groups of 5, 25 students in the class. Groups of 5, they all read the same article. And then for the activity, they were to come into the classroom the next day in their group, and they had 20 minutes to discuss their article. So when they read their article at home, they need to take some notes. They need to find out, what are the main points in this article? And then they come in, they discuss, okay, what main points did you find? What main points did you find? Were they the same? Were they different? And they discuss the main points of the article, and then they make a PowerPoint. It doesn't need to be a huge PowerPoint. 3 slides, 2 or 3 slides. And then I have them switch groups. And the switching works like this. So I had Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, Article 5. And then they got into groups A, B, C, D, E. With one person who had read each article, and then they present their article, discuss their article, and then for the creation phase, they need to do a synthesis paragraph, just a little bit, just say, what did you get out of this? What is your understanding of action research now, after we've done this activity? So what was I doing while all this was going on? I was kind of feeling a little useless, watching my students do the work. Going around helping where I could. But it's not about me teaching, it's about them learning. Right? It's about them learning. And do you think they learned from this? Yeah, they told me they did. They told me they did. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out to you. This is the type of activities, this is the type of active learning that needs to happen in the classroom, where the students are engaging. Yeah. Oh, sure. I can't not do that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm a teacher. I'm an old school teacher. Hey, I could get in there and get in the middle of it and see, you guys need any help and what's going on, and give them feedback on it. But the activity came from them. I mean, I gave them feedback, and I made sure that they understood the articles. So I looked at it. That was one of the main things I did is comprehension checks. Did you guys get this? Did you understand the articles? And it worked. So I just wanted to give that little tool to you, this jigsaw, because I use this a lot, and I find it very, it's very useful. So hopefully that'll help somebody. Flipped learning in ELT. Here's the research. This is from 2012 to 2018. 2012, Bergman and Sam's book comes out. By 2018, hundreds and hundreds of peer-reviewed, right? This was in the Scopus database. 366 articles. You can see the direction that it's going. There's a lot of interest in flipped learning. A lot. A lot of the students, as already has been said, a lot of the studies focused on students' perception. We need more research, you guys, if you want to do some more research on, is flipped learning really effective? Do students really learn more in flipped learning, or is it just motivating? I mean, I think they do. I mean, anecdotal evidence says that they learn more, but it really needs to be looked at. Effective techniques in the K-12 environment need to be identified. So the action research, again, if we can get more of this happening in the K-12 environment, like that would be brilliant. Prince found that all active learning helps because the flipped learning is active learning. It could be that it's just the active learning portion that helps. So this isn't clear. It's not, if flipped learning is effective, it's not clear why it's effective. Is the knowledge transmission at home, or is it the flipped learning, the active learning in the classroom? Is that what's really doing it? Unal and Unal, I think these are a married couple here in Turkey. Yeah, you know them? Okay. They found flipped learning effective. They did flipped learning for 16 courses, and 10 of them posted gains, 5 of them posted no change, 1 of them was negative. As you said, or sometimes the research will show that traditional classrooms are more effective than flipped classrooms. The propensity of research indicates that flipped learning is more effective than a traditional classroom. Now we're at the point in flipped learning where we're starting to get meta-analysis. So there's enough studies out there that we're starting to get meta-analysis. So you had these guys, Van Alten, Felix Janssen, and Kester, reviewed 114 studies, compared effect sizes, and found, yes, flipped learning is effective. ELT, and in ELT, we're looking at communicative methodology. So this is our predominant methodology. We do communicative language teaching. Is the predominant methodology these days. Flipped learning appeals very well to the Millennials, the Generation Zs, the Generation Alphas, whatever we call them, and they're also changing. I have my daughter is 9, and she gives me advice on my PowerPoints. It's a hot topic of flipped learning in ELT, and not just flipped learning in general, but flipped learning in ELT. Turner and Schumann examined 153 ELT studies, and they found that most of these studies were perceptual. Only 21 used pre-test, post-test, and compared with traditional classes. So that's really the way to look at effectiveness. But most of the studies in flipped learning don't do that. 18 out of 21 said flipped learning is effective. And the studies were done in a lot of different countries. It's something about research and ELT, a lot of the research these days, like Turkey is producing a good amount of high quality research. You get research coming out of the EFL world, almost more than the ESL world these days. There's less research coming out of America and Britain, and more research coming out of Turkey and coming out of other countries. Taiwan does a lot. Iran, if you can get past the politics, there's a lot of good things going on there academically. So that's kind of an interesting thing. These are the countries of the articles, and you can see right there, yes, Turkey, there we are. United States of America, 2. So we start to see, just in general, Malaysia, there's a lot of research coming out of Malaysia. It doesn't seem like they're, according to this study, it doesn't seem like they were really focused on flipped learning. Yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff coming out of Malaysia. I saw some good stuff on vocabulary acquisition. Books are starting to be published now. Flipped learning and ELT. This is 2014, Robin Brinks Lockwood out of Harvard. And this is a very straightforward book. It's not too hard, it's not too long. She talks a lot about how to flip without using technology. How can you flip without using technology? She did a follow-up booklet in 2018 that has about 63 pages, what every ESL teacher needs to know. Here's one that's much more academically based. This is one of those books that's kind of like a journal in a way. I mean, it's got like a collection of articles written by different people on a similar topic. But so you had all these articles, but they looked at many different aspects of flipped learning. They were from many different countries, and they had a lot of good ideas. They also talked about the negative side of flipped learning, like what can be the challenges in flipped learning and technology. As we heard about technology enhanced learning, this is the same problems exist in flipped. This is kind of it's kind of a story, actually. It's just they talk about their experience of flipping their classes in Boston. And it's a university level. So we see more of this. We see university level flipped. This is a lot more common. They give a lot of tools, a lot of apps, and they also talk about technology. They also talk about flipping all 4 of the skills. So this was a good one. Oh, there he is. Yeah, this is a book that only my chapters on flipped learning. You can buy it if you want. It's cheap. I'm not trying to sell you stuff, by the way. I don't make any money from it. I don't make any money from it. But it is cheap, and it's got some good articles in it. A lot of really, innovative stuff in here. And this is my chapter on flipped learning is here. So if you look at the research in flipped learning, you can see research on all of the skills. You can find out how it works for all 4 of the skills. The most researched aspect is productive skills, particularly writing. particularly right. And I think part of that is because it's easy to assess. You know, you can see it. It's all right there. Oh, look at that. All right. Dr. Bashal's article found several benefits to flipped learning. And again, you know, a lot of stuff there, good stuff, good high quality articles coming out of Turkey. And that we have motivation, positive results have been found in speaking. Fewer studies on the receptive skills, but you guys are going to change that, right? No? You're going to make me do it? Oh, come on. Help me out. Do some studies. So the studies show learning gains and satisfaction, and they show learner autonomy. Students very much like this. This very much appeals to the, what I got, 5 minutes left? Dude. Okay. So some students say it's harder. Ideally, flipped learning should be easier. Technical problems, the same things we talked about. Okay, so here we go with the real stuff. The future of flipped learning. Flipped learning is going to start to be integrated with other pedagogical concepts. Here it is integrated with differentiated learning. The buzz on flipped learning will start to die down because flipped learning is just going to become good practice. It will become the best teaching practice. Pre-class videos are going to stay. Active learning will stay. Communication will evolve. Technology will evolve. Virtual reality is here. This is not an emerging technology. This is here. And it's being used in schools. What they have here is the packet. They have a teacher device, 20 headsets, a router. They have a sanitizer. Yay. That's a great idea, right? Make them clean. And they have chargers, and then there's the software, and this is the headset, this is the kit. And so you got little wheels on there. You roll it into your classroom, you roll it out, and you get your kids there. This is $300 per headset. Okay, when you get a class of 20 or 30, you know, you're running into some money there. But here's, okay, let me go back to this. This is Harrison School District in Colorado. What they did is they bought a set for the school district and they share. You check it out. You get to use the VR headsets for 2 weeks. You have to do the training. A specialist comes into your classroom and you get to use it for 2 weeks. If you're going to use it for pre-class or even in class, you have to create the content, which is kind of a challenge. Unity and Unreal are the content creators. They're very expensive, but it's getting cheaper. And then, you know, could you imagine this in virtual reality? This is a very common thing we do in our language classrooms, isn't it? Right? This is a very common, you know, thing. It can be used in a number of ways. Could you imagine making it virtual reality? Yeah, okay, there we go. Very good. Just start to use your imagination around this. See how it could work. Have you ever seen these before? These cardboard viewer things. Okay, yeah, these are kind of a new thing. These are about $6 US, which I think is what, 150 Turkish liras now? You know, and the students put their own phone in there, right? And you have to buy a camera. The cameras are about, you know, can run between 80 to 300 US. And you can upload the video to YouTube, and YouTube will understand that this is a VR video. and then the students do it in the classroom. So you don't have to buy those big headsets if you don't want to. We have immersive classrooms, which are very cool. You have not just one projector, but the whole classroom is projector. And I want to finish up talking a little bit about videos. The students want good videos. They want to go a little bit beyond screencasting. If you do a 30-minute screencast, students will watch that right before they go to sleep, whether or not they planned on going to sleep or not. It's so we want to get a little bit more action in the videos. Filmora is a nice video editor. It's $61.99 annual. They do have a lifetime license, but every time they put out a new version, you have to buy it again. So, and I'm not trying to sell you this stuff. I'm just telling you it's there, okay? Videos is a very nice app. I use it. It's $67 lifetime. It's still out there for $67. This price will go up. I haven't been happy with some of the other, I use Doodly, I've used Viddies, I've used some other apps. I haven't been happy with them. They don't seem to work as well, and they don't seem to get the attention. Right now, Videos has a $1 trial. I think it's 15 days. So for $1, you can, take a picture of this and go to this website and download and create a lot of these videos, and then you've got them that you can put into your other videos. You can edit them into your other videos, and they're very easy to make. Here's an example. Okay, and this didn't take very long to make. I downloaded the logo, put it into videos, waited for it to render, and there it is. This is what I do with my classes. So this is how I start my class videos, and it gets kind of people in the mood, And I got the logo. I make the class logo, and it gets some engagement. I am doing approaches to ELT. We use the Richards and Rogers book, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And what I want to do is make videos for all of the chapters. Okay, so here's my question. Can you have an academically rigorous course with no reading at all, and yet the course is academically rigorous? In 2005, I did a paperless writing course, and people thought I was crazy, and so they still think I'm crazy. This is the kind of stuff. Yeah, cool, yeah? Yeah, okay. So, get these. I also do interactive videos, which is also another thing that's coming. We heard about H5P. H5P, in my opinion, is a little clunky. There's Panopto out there, and there's PlayPosit. I paid out of my own pocket $144 for PlayPosit for 1 year. Please do not tell my wife, okay? Yeah. Our secret, okay? Our little secret. It's a kind of a lot of money to get out of your pocket, but, what I'm hoping to do is to convince the university to purchase and to get into this. So the university is currently looking at Panopto, which is similar, but I think I've kind of helped them, move in this direction. There are other more expensive options. I use Perusall for active reading. Okay, so if you don't know about Perusall, look that up. Okay. I don't really think I got time to go into this, do I, Hassan? I'm like, I'm like cooked, right? I'm done, right? Yeah? 3 minutes, okay. 3 minutes, okay. Oh no. What's going on with the connection, guys? Okay. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay, it's back. Good. It's not advancing though. In 1986, Schulman came out with pedagogical content knowledge, right? So the debate of do you need to know content or do you need to know how to teach the content? Which is more important? And Schulman said both. Then in 2006, Mishra and Kohler added on to that. And now here in 2021, what I'm saying is we need to move away from knowledge-based teaching. We need skills-based teaching. And these are the skills that I think ELT pre-service teachers need. They need the English skills. We need to develop their English skills. They need the pedagogic skills. PCK did not go away. It's still there. But now they need virtual skills. Guys, this is not technological skills. This is virtual skills. The students of today are beyond digital natives. They're beyond digital natives. They are indigenous netizens. They are indigenous netizens. They were born inside the internet. My daughter has a playground called Roblox. That's where she plays with her friends. She lives in the internet. It's not just digital skills, and we need to make sure that the teachers have more than digital skills, that they have virtual skills, that they know how to get students to interact in the virtual world. Not just to go to the internet and come back with something, but to go there with their friend and do something there in the virtual world. Because this is coming, we had a fırtına, we had Lodos in Istanbul. It's a wind that comes. Okay, you guys know Lodos. But it was horrible, and they closed the school. And they just said, guess what? Online. Boom, they just said, your classes are online tomorrow. So this is what COVID has left us with. The move to online or doing courses online is no longer something that people even think about. They just say, do it. All the students are experienced with it. All the teachers are experienced with it. They do it. And so this is not going away. The virtual world is not going away. And we need to make sure our teachers have the skills to get students to interact in, not knowledge, no, not knowledge, because they've got the combined knowledge of the world in their pocket. We don't need to give them knowledge. They don't need to give them knowledge. Okay, so conclusions. I'm sorry, I don't want to make you guys leave for lunch. We're doing okay. Don't hurt me, okay? I don't I'm almost done. Okay, but what teachers can do is more important than what they know. Okay, we need teachers who can do things. We need effective teachers who can do things. So whether or not they're brilliant or know everything, even the concept of knowing English with data-driven learning and Corpus work, you can get a lot of that. So knowledge is everywhere. The Millennials, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zs, they are fundamentally different. Fundamentally different. Foundationally different. My daughter grew up playing in Roblox. That was her playground, right? For me, it was a ball, right? Whatever kind of ball you had, that's the sport you played, right? But they're different. They're different. We can't teach the way we taught before and be effective. They will refuse it. They will refuse it. There's a lot of studies out there on non-compliance of reading. Metaverse, yeah, sure. Go to the next level. Technology always happens, and we need to make sure our teaching goes with technology. I have time. I don't think everybody else has time. They're hungry. Um, but I think the students need enjoyable, active, and engaging education. To sum up, flipped learning is on a growth trajectory. You saw the graph, right? It's growing. But several factors need to be considered. How well teachers are flipping their class. Are they really doing active learning? Is the big question that I have. What is the quality of the pre-service videos? We have emerging technologies, which is something you're alluding to, that come up, and we need to do this. We have technologies, and how will they be impacted into flipped learning? I mean, virtual reality is an active learning technology, which works very well with flipped learning. We need to look at how teachers are educated and what we can do to improve teacher education. And then we need to think about how long this is going to be called flipped before it just starts getting called good pedagogy. Do I have time for a question or no? We don't. I'm sorry. We'll talk at lunch. I'm done.
Okay. We thank Dr. Bush for his inspirational talk, and I would like to invite Dr. Işılgün Selikaçar to present his plaque.
My pleasure. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Herkese afiyet olsun.